You're not overthinking. You're picking up on something. And I know that might sound simple, but if you've been feeling this lately, you already know what I mean. It's not constant. It comes in moments, small ones, where something feels slightly off or slightly different, and you notice it, not in a dramatic way, just enough to pause, just enough to think, wait, what was that? And then you move on. You tell yourself it's nothing. You tell yourself you're reading too much into it. You tell yourself it's just your mind trying to make connections, but then it happens again and again. And it's not always the same situation. Sometimes it's with people, sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's just a feeling, like something isn't lining up the way it should. And the thing is, you don't always have proof. You don't always have something you can point to and say, this is exactly what I'm noticing. It's more like you feel it before you can explain it. And that's the part that makes you question it, because you're used to things needing to make sense first. You're used to having something clear, something logical, something you can validate. But this doesn't work like that. This shows up as a feeling first, a quiet awareness, a subtle shift. And most of the time, you don't trust it right away. You wait, you observe, you look for confirmation, and sometimes you get it later. Something happens, something is said, something becomes obvious, and suddenly you realize, I felt that already. Not in a way where you predicted it exactly, but in a way where it was familiar, like your mind had already started processing it before it fully happened. And those moments matter because they show you something about how you process things. You don't always understand everything in real time, but you notice. You pick up on patterns, you feel shifts early, and instead of trusting that, you slow it down. You second guess it. You try to make it make sense before you accept it. And that's where the confusion comes in, because your awareness is faster than your explanation. You're already recognizing something, but you're waiting for it to become obvious before you allow yourself to believe it. There's also something here about how this shows up with people, because you can sense when something changes, even if they act the same, even if nothing is said directly. You can feel when the energy is different, when something isn't as aligned as it was before. And again, you don't always act on it right away. You observe, you wait, you watch how things unfold, and then later, something confirms it. A small detail, a shift in behavior, a moment that makes everything clearer, and you realize you weren't overthinking. You were noticing something early. There's also something here about patterns, because you don't just notice one thing, you connect things. You see how one situation relates to another, how one behavior leads to something else, how things repeat in slightly different ways. And because of that, you often understand what's happening before it's fully explained. But again, you don't always trust that, because it doesn't come through as certainty. It comes through as a feeling, a quiet sense of this doesn't feel right, or this feels familiar, or this is going somewhere. And that can be hard to rely on when you don't have clear evidence yet. So you wait. And that's not a bad thing. But what I'm getting here is, you've had enough of these moments now to recognize the pattern itself. It's not just one situation. It's not just one person. It's how you process things. And once you start seeing that, it changes how you respond. Because instead of dismissing it immediately, you start to acknowledge it. You don't have to act on it right away. You don't have to make a decision based on it instantly, but you stop ignoring it. You stop telling yourself it's nothing. You allow it to exist, and that alone makes it clearer. Because awareness builds on recognition. The more you notice that you notice, the easier it becomes to trust what you're picking up on. And this doesn't mean you're always going to be right about everything. That's not the point. The point is you're not making things up. You're not randomly connecting things that don't belong together. You're observing, you're processing, you're picking up on information that isn't always obvious yet. And that's why it feels the way it does. Subtle, incomplete, but still there. And the more you allow yourself to recognize that, the less you'll feel like you need to fight it, the less you'll feel like you need to prove it, because it's not about proving anything. It's about understanding how your awareness works. There's also something here about timing, because not everything you notice is meant to be acted on immediately. Some things are just meant to be seen, to be understood over time, to connect later. And that's why it comes in pieces, because you're meant to see how it builds, not just how it appears. So if you've been feeling like this, like you're noticing things before they're clear, like you're picking up on something but can't fully explain it yet, this is your confirmation. You're not overthinking, you're picking up on something. And the more you allow yourself to recognize that, the more it starts to make sense. Not all at once, but gradually, in small moments, in quiet realizations, in those times where something clicks and you realize you felt it before. And those are the moments that matter, because that's where clarity begins, not in forcing answers, but in recognizing what you've already been aware of.